The first monthly Social Security check was cashed in 1940 for a grand total of about $23. Fast forward to 2020, and the average retired worker gets almost $1,500 a month from Social Security.
Illegal immigrants can officially receive prepaid debit cards as part of a $53 million program, giving the average family of four more than $1,400 per month. It's more than the allowance for some deployed troops. Fox News Digital breaking it all down, saying, quote, while an average military family is suffering from a deficit of $1,860 over a period of 9 months, a similarly sized illegal migrant family is being given nearly 7 times more.
The mayor's office says the city is partnering with Mobility Capital Finance to launch a more cost-effective program. Right now, the city has contracts with food services who provide non-perishable food boxes to shelters. The cards can only be used at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores.
We're just giving this migrant population more free stuff at the expense of New York City taxpayers.
In a statement, the mayor's office says, in part, quote, not only will this provide families with the ability to purchase fresh food of their culturally relevant diets and the baby supplies of their choosing, but the pilot program is expected to save New York City more than $600,000 per month, or more than $7.2 million annually.
I'm not going to be thankful that a program that was bloated and inefficient is somehow cheaper to just give away free money to people in the hopes that they feed themselves.
According to the New York Post, this pilot program will cost the city $53 million.
They're deflecting attention away from their incompetency, and they're not holding accountable the people that had prior contracts.
Paramalu is with artists, athletes, and activists. He says the Adams administration is setting up the migrants for failure.
Purchasing food at the supermarket is not cheap anymore. And on top of that, they don't have kitchens. So how are they going to purchase the food that they want?
The families who get these credit cards will be required to sign an affidavit swearing they will only use them for food or baby supplies.
I was able to learn that the first 10 debit cards will be handed out here at the Roosevelt to newly arrived families. And once this ramps up by next week or so, there'll be about 115, that's 115 of these cards in circulation, serving about 460 migrants. That includes a lot of young children. We did obtain some images of what these cards will look like. You can see them on your screen there. They'll be loaded weekly with about $350 for a family of 4 with 2 young children under the age of 5. The city says in working with the New Jersey-based vendor called Mocify, the cards will only be able to be used at bodegas and grocery stores and only will be able to use to buy food and baby supplies. This will be very similar to SNAP, also known as food stamps, where you pay with a preloaded card at a store. Critics of the migrant response and of this particular plan have raised concerns about the potential for this to be rife with fraud and waste and abuse. City officials say if it's fully expanded, it will actually save about $600,000 a month and give migrants more flexible food options, and on top of that, push money back into the local economy as opposed to some big food vendor contract. I did press Deputy Mayor Ann Williams Isom about the program in a sit-down you'll only see on Pix 11.
How can you assure New Yorkers there won't be waste and abuse in this program?
Saving New Yorkers $600,000 a month is a smart thing to do. Saving New Yorkers $7.2 million a year is a smart thing to do. Making sure that we are decreasing waste is a smart thing to do. Making sure that we've put in guardrails so that people can only use it for food and baby supplies. So if you try to go to Bloomingdale's and use it for shoes, it will be rejected. If there are things that we see where people abuse it, we can take the card back.
There are critics, and there are critics on both sides of the aisle who point to the potential for waste, point to the potential for fraud. Is that a valid concern?
Without a doubt. I mean, the fact that this was a no-bid contract is a huge problem, because not only is it a waste of taxpayers' money to be giving these cash handouts basically to migrants, many of whom may be here illegally, it's also insult to injury because they may not be getting the best value for money. We could have had a company that maybe did this for cheaper than the one that was ultimately selected. And that's why even my colleagues on the left who are supportive of the migrants being here, find this contract to be unacceptable.
You know, and Councilman, just talk to me, where is the money for this program coming from? Because we've heard from the mayor and, you know, who is a Democrat, but saying that, listen, you know, we cannot afford to continue to, you know, house migrants. We're seeing a lot of cities that are struggling with this right now because it does come at a very high cost. So this program is in place to, obviously, we know people need help, but where is the money coming from?
Well, it's coming from the taxpayers of the city of New York. And I mean, and that's the great difficulty here is that the folks on the left keep trying to say, oh, well, we need to do this more cheaply and more efficiently. But the reality is that the more New York City offers to migrants who are literally just arriving in this country, arriving in our city, the more of an attractive place we come to be for those who are looking for a place to land. Yes, they're coming to America for a lot of different reasons, but why are they choosing New York? And it's because of the generosity that the city has put forward to the detriment of New York City taxpayers that we continue to see more and more people come to the city to try to find their home. It's ridiculous to believe that migrants who travel thousands of miles have, you know, stop losing the ability to migrate once they get here. If we basically say enough is enough, they'll stop coming here and they'll find different places to go.
We have a brand. New York has a brand. And when people see it, it means something. You know, when we go there, it's not, Kansas doesn't have a brand. You know? This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person who's celebrating a new business that's open.